All right, we're going to simplify some fractions together here. This is going to be our first old school quiz topic, fractions, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So it's been a few years since we've learned this probably, so let's do a little refresher. All right, take a look at our first one here. We have 13 over 5 times 5 over 6. If you have multiplication with fractions, you are able to what we call cross reduce. So in this case, I notice I've got a 5 in this denominator over here, 5 in this denominator over here, so those essentially can cancel out. You could leave it with a 1 if you want to do that. Okay, let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, so then from there, we can't cross reduce anything else, so we simply multiply straight across. 13 times 1, we get 13. Over 1 times 6, we get 6. You always want to check and see, can I simplify this? Well, we did all of the simplifying in the beginning, so nope, nothing left to simplify. We do not want to turn that into a mixed number. We're going to leave that as a simplified improper fraction. All right, let's take a look at our second one here. Okay, we've got division. So you learned this probably back in middle school. Whenever you have fractions with division, we want to change. Uh-oh, bell. Sorry about that, guys. We want to change that into a multiplication problem. And the way we do that is we write down our first fraction, 8 over 48. And we're going to, I think maybe it was called keep, change, flip. I don't know. I haven't taught middle school math, but that's what I've heard. So you're going to change the sign into multiplication and simply flip the second fraction. So 18 over 9 becomes 9 over 18. All right, so now we've turned this into a multiplication problem that we can solve. You want to check and see, can you cross reduce anything here? Well, we could do some cross reducing, but look at the fractions individually. Could you simplify either of them? Actually, yeah, look at 8 over 48. That simplifies pretty nicely. 8 goes into 48 evenly. That becomes 1 over 6, right? 8 goes into 8 one time. 8 goes into 48 6 times. Okay, that looks nice. Let's take a look at this one. We can simplify 9 over 18. That simplifies to 1/2. So those numbers look a lot better. So from there, let's go ahead and multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 2 is 12. That simplifies nicely to 1/12. Okay, let's look at this third one here. This one's kind of crazy looking. I'm going to change colors. Let's go blue. All right, here we've got 3 fractions and both division symbols here. I always think back, whatever the signs are, I think back to PEMDAS with simplification. Okay, they're both division, right? So we want to do whatever happens first, looking at it from left to right. So let's first start with this little operation here. Okay, let's change this to a multiplication problem. So this 24 over 121 stays the same, but then I'm going to change this to, instead of division, multiplication, and take the reciprocal of the other one, aka flip it, 24 over 2. Okay, cool. If we look over at the next one, we're going to end up doing the same thing. Let's see, I can kind of show you parentheses over here like so. You're going to end up changing this division to multiplication and flipping this fraction. So we can go ahead and do that all in one step. So let's go times 11 over 16, just getting everything set up. All right, now that we have all multiplication, look and see if you can reduce any of the fractions or if you can cross reduce. If we don't do any reducing, you can multiply straight across, but think about like how big those numbers are going to be. Then you'll have to reduce that in the end, which makes it difficult because we will not have a calculator on our old school. So let's reduce as much as we possibly can here. Right away, looking at 24 over 2, that's just 24 divided by 2. You can reduce that to 12, or you can make that just 12 over 1. So let's rewrite this down. 24 over 121 times, let's leave it as a fraction and put 12 over 1 times, let's leave this 11 over 16. Okay, let's see, what else can we do? I see this 11 over here and this 121. I'd love to get rid of that because that's a big number. And I do know that 11 times 11 gives me 121. So let's simplify that. I'm going to bring this down here. All right, so simplifying those, I can basically cross out the 11 and put a 1. and then 121 divided by 11 is 11. So I'm going to cross that out and put 11. So now we're dealing with 24 over 11 times 12 over 1 times 1 over 16. Okay, there's still some crazy numbers. Is there anything else I can reduce? Yeah, I mean, I can see multiple ways we could. So just pick one of them and deal with it, right? I've got 24 right here and 16 right here. I know 8 goes into both of those. 8 goes into 16 2 times. 8 goes into 24 3 times. Okay, doing some, this is like really working out for us. So now we have 3 over 11 times 12 over 1 times 1 over 2. This is looking a lot better. I see even one more thing we can do. Check out this 2 and this 12. 2 goes into both. So this will become a 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Let's go ahead. I mean, we can keep rewriting this. You don't have to, but I will go ahead so it looks cleaner for you. So we got 3 over 11 times 6 over 1 times, what is that now? Just 1 over 1, right? We don't even have to write that, but we will. All right, multiplying straight across, we've got 3 times 6 times 1, which is 18, over 11 times 1, which is 11. Boom, we did it. 18 over 11. Not too bad. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at number 4. Let me kind of clean this up a little bit and erase it. All right, number 4, we are dealing with just subtraction. Now, addition and subtraction, you'll basically do the same way with fractions. We'll go like that. Okay, now with addition and subtraction, you need a common denominator, right? So let's deal with that. We got a 4 and a 5 in our denominators. So common denominator, in this case, I would make 20, right? 4 times 5, you get 20. I know that 4 and 5 will both go into 20. So let's do that. Let's make this one 20 minus, and we're going to make this one 20. So think, to get from 4 to 20, what did we do? Well, we multiply by 5. So you need to do the same thought process here with the numerator. So multiply by 5. So we take our 3 times 5 and get 15. Notice that does reduce to 3/4, just written differently. Same over here. To get from the 5 to the 20, we multiply by 4. So do the same to the numerator here. We're going to take that 4 and multiply by 4 and get 16. All right, now we can subtract them now that we have a common denominator. And when we subtract them, our denominator is going to remain the same. And we just subtract our numerator. So 15 minus 16 would give me -1. And we can pull that negative out to the side. Make sure it's still all simplified. We're good. Final answer. Okay, let's take a look at, let's do one more. I think y'all could handle the rest. Let's try a number 5. All right, so we're adding fractions here. We want to get a common denominator. Where should we start? Well, we can go from left to right and maybe just deal with these two first if you want to do that. Totally up to you though. Okay, so we can create a common denominator here. I would do 7 times 3, you get 21. Let's make that our denominator. All right, so think 7 times what gives us 21? Well, 7 times 3 gives us 21. So do the same to your numerator, multiply by 3, and I get -12. Okay, same over here, 3 times 7 gives us this 21. So same, multiply your numerator by 7 as well. So 1 times 7, we get 7. All right, cool. We can go ahead and add those together. That's going to give us, so we're going to leave our denominator the same, 21. -12 plus 7, that gives us -5. Okay, now we've just added the first two. Remember, we still have to add this guy. Let's bring him down.